Hello everyone, welcome back to Feldy, Farming Simulator 11, wonderful map created by Farmer Yip. I'm going to cycle through the equipment here in this episode real quick. Sometimes I skip that part. I don't know if anybody can tell, but we do have a little bit more light in here. So I'm going to cycle through each item in turn and see kind of how it looks for each. Now we're only 7 o'clock at night. And I realize in the winter, of course, it would mean shorter days. But given that there's to be a balance between harvest and other times of year, I'd like it to be a little bit lighter. And I think this will do the trick here at 7. And I just want to see how it looks. We're down in the quarry with this thing. I think that's a little lighter. I'm trying to remember. That's definitely a little lighter from when I was in here a little bit ago. Cycle through each item in turn. Yes, here you can see the power of the shadow. Here as we look off towards the west, as the sun goes down, we see kind of the impact. Out here on the flat, you don't notice it as much. There's our combine nestled on this road. And, oh boy, I don't know if that goes under the map. Maybe I can see a little bit more. Maybe I don't have much choice. I don't think I could see the edge of the field. And there it is. So I do think I have raised the light in here just a little bit. Okay, we're all the way through the equipment. Let me just hop out there. In case someone ever wants to try it, I'll show you what I did. It's kind of, and who knows, for all I know, I'm going to crash the game as part of this, but I'll just show you what I did. Here is the map i3D file in Feldy. So I opened it up, and every map is going to have a sun in it. And this is typically set at 400 meters up above the height of the map. And there's several kinds of light that the giants give you in here. And this one is a directional light. When we look up at the sky inside the map, we don't see the bright ball of light in the sky, but it's there nonetheless and directional. And here the range is 10,000 meters, so it's going to cover the whole map, no problem. Anyway, there's several other types. Ambient, of course, is what the ground is going to put out, or objects. It's light that comes from non-light type sources. I really don't know how that works. Probably a scientist could explain it. Point, I think that's a tiny little bit of light, maybe a certain direction. Spot maybe is something similar, but the sun, of course, is a directional light. So I tinkered, here you specify the color of light. So if you wanted more red, you could double it or whatever, and it would have more of a reddish tint. And actually, I think it only accepts values up to 1. So really what you'd have to do to get more of a reddish tint is probably leave that at 1 and put these others at 0. Here would be a pure only red light. That'd be kind of how it appears. Well, obviously most of the time we're gonna want just the straight one, so we have the natural light. But I do know some of these values are tweaked by the script as you head from day to night. The sunset obviously brings out different colors. Morning also is going to have similar colors. So I know the scripts underlying will tweak these, or at least they did in later versions. I guess I can't say that I've seen the code or observed it in Farm Sim 11. But anyway, what I noticed was when you double this, you double the intensity of the light. And obviously this is, way brighter than what we'd want, really. So, but when I tried it in game, and I could try a 1.5 and get just a little bit, and I tried multiple iterations of this, took it in game, and it just didn't. It just left it only at one apiece, RGB. And oh yeah, R is red, G is green, and B is blue. And from those colors, you can make any combination you want. But like I say, when you bump the number of 1, you start increasing the intensity. Well, it wouldn't let me do that. So, well, then I had this funny thought. What if I duplicate the sun and put another sun on top of the sun? And so that's what I kind of did here. I duplicated it, I dragged it up here, and I have another sun. I don't have to mess around with any transform settings because the child, this is a child object of the parent, which is sun, is already adjusted to be 400, and the child, meters in the air, and there's a particular rotation and angle, and the child object automatically inherits the properties of its parent. So this is already going to be sitting up where we want it, and I made it a directional light, gave it the same range, and here you'll see I gave it RGB values of 0.5, and I think those are probably going to be constant. If there's any light adjustment by the game, it's probably going to be done to this one up here. So, we're going to have to kind of see how this goes, but I think it is added just a little bit more light. I tried it with a setting of 1 here, and it doubled the existing light, and it was just too much. And what we'll see is eventually when we fast forward to daytime hours, we'll see just what kind of effect it has in game, and so we may need to dial it back. I'm kind of just doing a fun little experiment here to see how it goes. And like I say, hopefully it doesn't kill the game. Alright, so we haven't been kicked out at least. So I've kind of been thinking here, I've got this front end loader down here that I never use. Now I know at some point, up the hill here, there is something where we may use it. Maybe we need it down where we do fertilizer to get kelp out of the ocean. Although I think I can just back my trailer into the ocean. Don't know that I need to do anything in particular. So I'm wondering if I should sell it. And, when I go from here to, I'm really liking this little windrower here. And there's one other windrower. That's the one we hear cranking up now. But I think the thing I've been discovering in here is when you have a smaller windrower, you get more bales and more product out of the field. So what I am thinking I may want to do is sell this. I don't know how much I'll get, and sell the trailer, sell the header. It obviously works great. I made some modifications to it. Maybe I'll bring it back later, but I kind of like this thing because it's just doing what I needed to do. It did all of this work over here. I know I've said that the downside to it is it doesn't go back and forth. The other one that we have, oops, wrong way. This one over here will go back and forth, which is handy for doing the baling. There'll be a little bit less starting and stopping. But I'm thinking I probably should sell it to make a little bit of more money, and I'm trying to earn money as best I can to get rid of my debts. And what I really want to do is jumpstart getting, I got to get a Bowser so I can haul biofuel and water. And I also need to get some forage harvesting equipment. So if I hop out of here, let me just do that real quick. Now in this version, you didn't have what's called the garage. I think in later versions, you could click on a garage and it would tell you which pieces of equipment that you owned. But this one here, in the old days, you had to come back in here, and if you had it, the sell button would light up. If you didn't have it, it of course wouldn't light up. So I have, let me just do the front loader first, and maybe I'm going to regret this, But I think this is the bucket. Yep, it'll let me sell it. Oh boy, hopefully this goes well. Now I need to do the rest because what is a front loader without a bucket? So new, if I gotta get this again, it's gonna cost me 95 grand, but I'm gonna get 47.5 for selling it now. So why don't I do that? That'll give me 50. Okay, got rid of those. And also something that I don't know that we have in this version is simply a trigger to haul this stuff to and dispose of. You know, one of the problems that you could always have here is what if you add 4 of these things and then you wanted to sell one of them? How do you know you're going to get rid of the one that you want to get rid of? So, but for the moment, I know this is I only have one, so I'm going to dump that. There it goes. And making some nice money. Let me see if I can carefully do this. This was a header trailer for the swather header. So I know I have one of those. That's going to go. And the swather header. Wow, these things are expensive. So 22 and a half. Bammo. So that gives me 147,000, which incidentally is just enough to buy the forager. So what all do I need? I need the forager, and let me see if there's anything up here. I'm gonna need the pickup. Oh, that's 45 grand itself. And I believe I need the trailer, right? Well, I'm gonna need the Bowser. That's 25. Okay. Where's the trailer? How much is the trailer? Here it is. 45,000. Well, since I'm working on making money still, you know, let me pop this one down. Boom. Got it. And let me get at least the header for it. How much was the header? Oh, I've already forgotten. Zip down there again to where it is. Somewhere. Nope, not in here. Oh, come on. Here it is. 45,000. Blimey. Okay, so I need 43,000 on top of this. So let me go to the bank. We'll just get up to 47,000. We're 70 in, debt. We'll go grab it. So now we have a complete machine. And then all we need to get is the trailer, right? And that is 45,000, and we don't have enough. But we're going to get there. We would have a little bit more room to put on our line of credit, but I don't think we have enough room to afford the whole thing. So long, farewell to our... Uh-oh. Well, hey, I thought I sold this thing. Didn't I get rid of this swather header? I suppose I got rid of the combine header trailer. Let me see, is there only one kind of trailer? Yep, header trailer for this other trailer. Okay. I wonder if it's a one size fits all for that particular header. Yeah, this one, that's for the swather. Where is the regular grain table? Here it is for the cutter. Yeah, hopefully I didn't just make a mistake, but what I'm hoping is I can pull the trailer. I mean, we had two header trailers, right? So I'm hoping I can just pull this one here back over to the combine and use it for it. Anyway, we no longer have equipment down in the quarry. We still have this fella here. We're going to need to... here's our new machine. You know what? I mean, the only thing he's probably going to have most of the time is... Oh, that's some good lighting. I like that. Much better than some of these things. we're just going to get him right on this and get him hooked up and ready to go. Boom. Delete AI course, unfold, easy flow. So, oh, I see. You've got to unfold that thing too. All right. Okay, well, we have a new machine on the farm. We just need a trailer for it, and we're going to be all set. And we are headed towards fulfilling mission number 2. All right, so we did have this thing going. Let's get it all set up. Oops, I already scrolled by red clover. Let me see if I can widen this out. And once again, I really don't know what the purpose of that is. But here we go. For some reason, when I initially start it, it makes some weird sound. And I don't know why it does that. Maybe just a glitch. But when I hop out and get back in the cab, it seems to work okay. So it is possible that it'll end up in the field over here. I know we saw it on the other side. Hopefully it doesn't. I'd like it just to continue here with this one, but we'll see what happens. I'm going to turn him loose, and we are going to take some bales to market. 88 gallons. Well, I will take a risk, I think, and see if we can do this. And one reason I want to do it over here rather than go by over where my fuel trailer is I kind of finished punching the road in over here. Farmer Yip, when he made the map, he put the road over to here, but he didn't have it connected, and I can't remember if I put it in along here. Maybe he had it, and it just wasn't entirely connected with this other road network. So what in the world is this? Okay, here now we are seeing some of the perils of what I did. By adding that other sun, look what it did with the shadows. That's an interesting effect. Of course, when I walk out here, it disappears. But there is a building up on top of this hill that the light is shining against, and it's probably the second sun that I put in there. So, you know what? That's kind of a poor visual effect. So I'm seeing the casualties of doing what I did. So, yeah, that's a vote for getting rid of the second sun. Anyway, I wonder if some of the other buildings did that too. You know, it's 7:24 in the evening here. We're going along through, we've got a large grass field down here, and we're kind of just snaking along. I think eventually this goes along the ocean. We're on Feldy Island, and it's going to take us a little bit to get down here to town where we can sell these bales. And Yip had the road in here mainly. There's kind of an enormous grassy area here, so there's a lot of hay we can make if we want. I never have or did when I played on this originally. Wow, that's just so dark over here. Yeah, this is why I wanted a little bit more light, but I'm thinking, yeah, the effect that we saw back there isn't exactly what I intended. So I may need to go get rid of that. But lots of grass down here to make all the hay that we'd ever want to make. And although the time that I tried it, it didn't quite produce as much as I was hoping. But when Yip did the road, it kind of came down here and just sort of cut off. And so one of the edits I made to the map was to string the road kind of along the water down here and to bring it towards or into town. And I guess I'm going to find out the hard way if I'm not able to get through town. Well, I know I'll be able to get through town, but I mean, there's a pretty narrow bridge coming up that gets into town, and I don't know if this implement is wider than what the bridge can handle or not, but we're going to find out. Yeah, so all of this here previously was just kind of a grassy area. The player really never had a reason to go there unless you were, looking for a shortcut. Woo! That's swinging it out over the water. It's kind of an abrupt cutoff there, and I'm once again wishing I had a little better turning radius even in this thing. So far I'm doing okay on the fuel, and oh boy, is this going to just barely. Man, you can't even hardly fit a paper dollar on either side of that in the bridge. But I am pleased and made it through. Fortunately, with collisions taken off this fence. And as we go down here, we're still not going to make that much. It's going to be $9,600 if I recall correctly. So we're not making a killing on this. It's just to help, buy a few things, if you will. There's a dairy. I guess I had further to go over here than I remembered. So we'll be turning across this other bridge over here, and we will get these things sold. And once again, I don't know how many times it's been observed with, I've got several kinds of bales on here, and as I sell them, they're all valued the same, which is kind of too bad. There may be a way to mod it further to where certain types of bales, would be of higher value. But I just haven't taken that step up to do it. So I think the Giants built in functionality to do it, but for whatever reason, when they marketed the game, they chose to leave every bale alike. Alright, I think we're over the trigger. Boom! Down they go, and ka-ching, ka-ching. So I think we made a little bit. Let me bring that down. Let's repay some debts. Get back out of there. We almost have enough to purchase ourselves the trailer, but not quite. I think with another load of bales, we'd have enough space on the line to swing it. And I suppose I could try the other trailer that we have. Yeah, sorry, this messes with realism a little bit, but I'm thankful we don't have collisions, because this thing is a beast to turn around. There's no two ways about it. I'm gonna need a hedge trimmer. Oh, and the Bowser. I gotta get a Bowser. Yeah, I need to keep earning money. I'd be curious. I probably can't. Nope, this one here doesn't let you see the whole map all at the same time. So we can't keep an eye on our windrower up there in the field, who's hopefully sticking in the same field and continuing to do what we asked him to do. Oh, that is tight. Sorry, folks, I'm driving across the hedges of the good people in town here. Just trying to head back out to the field and work. Maybe I need to reroute this whole road so it's a straighter shot. We're kind of going below some of our fields here, and it would be open to head up in there in between these trees. I had half toyed with putting in a gate and an opening kind of up into the field, but kind of at the end I opted not to do that. So these fields here we're going by, namely is at field 28, 27, and 26. I mean, those are accessible kind of just off the main farmyard, if you will. You kind of got to go over the river past the waterfall, and then you get up into those higher, kind of the highland fields almost, if you want to call them that. So once we get done with, I don't think I'm going to do anything with this grass over here. If I did anything in the future, I might rip some of this out, turn it into a field, and grow something else. But there is a lot of grass down here, so I guess if we need it, I've never played it long enough to really get into the livestock aspect of it. I've only ever done crops and fulfilled, I think I got to the 3rd mission the last time. I don't remember it taking this long to fulfill mission number 2, so maybe I've just been screwing around in here too much, or I don't remember what I did last time. For all I know, we cheated just to get some extra money. But not this time. Yeah, this is kind of playing tricks on my eyes. There's dark areas here, and then there's areas right next to it that are really light. It's so, modding is sometimes, I know, like I've said before, there's the law of unintended consequences. One thing you do, like this right here is a prime example. It's casting shadows in a strange way, that we obviously wouldn't have intended. Hey, there's our windrower, and look at that. He has indeed stayed in the field, and he's working away at it, so that's good. That's very, very good. So I think, let me see if I can just park this over here somewhere, and I'm kind of running out of fuel, but so maybe what I need to do is go get my fuel wagon, but I don't know, maybe I can come in here and do a little bit of baling. Alright, let me get rid of my screen here, turn this puppy on, I'm gonna lower it down. There it goes. And we are gonna crank out some pea bales. Let's see if I can do this high speed. And at some point, total bales where I gotta get to 750, I believe, before I run out of the strings again. And I can't remember, I think I maybe showed that out on one of the episodes. I just don't remember. Yeah, this is a disadvantage of going round and round a field, is that sometimes there's little bits skipped. And I don't know about how you all are. I like picking everything up. And I know in Farm Sim 15 there was this rake that see, there's a prime example. There was this rake that I liked using. I think it was called a natal rake, and you could put it on the front of your baler, and it would grab a certain distance. There I missed some again. It would grab a certain distance away and help you draw all of the windrow in. Now here, I've searched high and low. To my knowledge, there isn't a natal rake available in Farm Sim 11. So, what I may end up doing, and this is a little bit of a cheat. I can't remember if I described this mod before, but I made a mod in Farm Sim, let's see, was that 17? I think it was 17. And I never released it yet. It's one of those that I just never finished. It takes a lot of energy to properly finish a mod off. But this one was to temporarily widen or to alter the working area. And the working area, kind of like I've explained before, is where a machine does something. It's like the area in a header where you cut the crop, and the game knows what to do within that area. It calls it a work area. I think in this version of the game, Farm Sim 11, it was called a cutting area. And so even on some of like the baler, it has a quote cutting area, even though it isn't cutting anything. But it's the area where it's gathering up the crop and turning it into bales. See, I left a little bit there. This one over here left a little bit. But this mod that I made, you could, from the seat of your tractor, widen or make narrower the work area within certain constraints. I think I had it set up so you can make it 5 times bigger than it was originally, which is ridiculous. The main reason I wanted it was for basically exactly the thing that I'm doing right now, baling. Because It always bugged me that you could go over the top of the windrow and leave little bits all over the field. And in real life, the windrow is kind of held together on its own, and even though something is outside of the windrow pickup, it's still going to grab it a lot of times because the rest of the straw or grass or whatever material is in the windrow is going to grab it for you and will pull it in. So in real life, a lot of times you aren't leaving those little bits, that would be implied kind of by game play. I mean, sometimes you do. I mean, there's obviously always a limit, ultimately. But a lot of times the little bits, the annoying ones that sometimes get left, in the farm sim game, it just wouldn't happen that way in real life. Well, look at that. This thing seems to be dropping bales close to... missed it again. Close to one another over here, so that's kind of cool. I guess it stands to reason. And this, like I say, is pea hay. And I have encountered... Oh, there's my bell. I know I've mentioned him many times. That always makes me think of my departed friend, Eustace Farmer, or Atomic 67 as he was known to us in his later years. He was taken from us too young, but what do you say? It's just one of those things many of us are still coming to terms with, but I appreciate the gift he gave me of this little cow, so I would always know when the 30-minute mark hit, and we've done that. But as I was saying, I have encountered pea hay in real life. I have this vague memory a long time ago of my dad picking some up. And we don't grow a lot of peas in this area. Every now and again, you'll see a farmer that has some peas in the ground. We can definitely grow them. We just don't very often see them. And years ago, I think some of those were, maybe it was a residue after pea harvest. Maybe they made hay instead of the pea, harvesting peas. I really don't know. All I know is I have seen it in real life. I don't know if it's considered premium hay. I imagine its profile in terms of nutrients is different, than grass would be. Definitely a step of straw. But I don't know if it's superior. I think the farmers here would probably say something like alfalfa would be superior to regular grass. But, it all depends on your purpose and what you're trying to do with it. I guess the only point I'm trying to make is, I guess I have seen pea hay in real life, so I know it is a thing. I'm not sure we'd be baling it right behind the windrower, though, like we're doing it in game, but that's okay. I'm skipping other spots here. See if I can push this backward till I get it. Maybe what I should do is kind of like what they do in real life. They would keep baling, and then when the field is done, the operator would go back across the field to kind of address any last loose hay, if you will, that's in the field. Anyway, I've taken up enough of your time today. Thank you so much for coming along to view Feldy with me here. I hope you're enjoying the map. I know I am. And hope you have a wonderful day. We'll see you on the next one. Goodbye for now.